the old school stuff. So.
I view Bloodbath writing both the music and the lyrics equal to watching a horror flick, really. It's the same kind of entertainment I get out of it. It's just fooling around with these topics, and, you know, sometimes it's a good laugh, but sometimes it's also, you know, diving into this kind of morbid, obscure, you know, darkness, and still having fun with it, you know. It's not like Bloodbath ain't, you know, it's not like we're out there preaching anything.
Writing satanic lyrics is something I love doing. And get it right, me and Jonas talking about getting those lines right, and it's something I love doing, actually, to be honest, you know. And that's something I feel is a really big part of Bloodbath these days, and my part of Bloodbath is coming up with these super satanic lyrics, you know. And in the past I wrote a few lyrics, and they are like on the first EP I wrote a few, and they were just ridiculous, fun, gore lyrics, you know, like Furnace Funeral is about this guy is being baked in an oven, you know. It's gonna be eaten, you know. So they were just kind of piss takes, you know. And then gradually they became more like better lyrics, I think, you know, not more serious, because they always kind of, you know, I can't say that I'm a devil worshipper, but yet I can relate to those types of lyrics, and I love writing those types of lyrics for some reason. I've done it for Opeth too, you know, just something I love doing.
Usually we've been writing lyrics to the songs that we've written. So if I write a song, I also write the lyrics. But on the last album, Michael wrote the lyrics for Sodomizer's songs. And but I think, you know, coming from the same kind of background, we all know what to expect from the lyrics as well. It's not that like we have to teach some young guy what death metal is about, you know. It's because we all grew up with this music, so we know what we want. And, you know, it's the usual death metal subjects like gore and Satan.
I think the writing for Bloodbath has worked so smoothly only because we write individually. Basically we just, I mean, an album is made out of 10-11 songs, which is a pretty normal, you know, thing for a death metal album. I don't think a death metal album should be longer anyway than like 45 minutes, so to speak. Should fit an old C90 cassette, you know, on one side. That's the trick. That's how it used to be anyway. And that means we just divide up the writing, like each member have to do 3 or 4 songs each.
I think we kind of triggered each other a bit when we wrote the stuff and we sent it, you know. I sent Jonas my song and he was like, oh, really, you did that kind of thing, and he was like, yeah, maybe I put something like that in my song. And I listened to something Anders did, and I was like, yeah, that's a real cool part.
Usually it is Jonas, Anders and Solo that writes a couple of songs themselves at home. I guess they have like a recording studio at home, and then they send me a couple of demo tapes, and after a few weeks we go into the studio and we try out certain songs and things, and after usually 3 or 4 days the drums are finished. So
we usually sit in our own homes composing songs, but we send them to each other, like just email files, sound files, and just listen to this riff, what do you think about this? And then, for example, Sodo here can say like, you should do a little bit more like old school or something like that. So we definitely communicate while writing, but we haven't been writing together that much.
We did one song.
Yeah, we did one song together. But we definitely have a good vibe because we play each other all the new stuff before going into the studio and stuff.
I love to write death metal riffs, compose a song, get the arrangements going, and present it for the other guys and say, here's my part, of the new Holy Inferno. And basically that just goes for the other guys as well. We all brought our finished songs, and basically we haven't really heard each other's songs until we entered the studio. This goes for all the albums except the first album, or the mini album, because that was made as a jam when we were testing Don Swan's equipment and stuff like that. So it was just jam we did on the spot though. Nothing was written at the time, it was just a jam on the spot where magic really happened. And on the other albums, as I said, 3-4 songs each, bringing them into the studio, letting Axe hear them for the first time. I remember on the last album he was just like, so what do we got this time? And like, hey, come into the kitchen and put on the CD player, and these are my 3 songs. And he would listen to them and alright, cool, let's start with the first one then. Just go into the studio and memorize stuff, and no rehearsals, no pre-listening, no nothing, just right on. Having fun with it though, having totally fun with it, and freedom, because if Axe comes up with stuff that he wants to incorporate into the song, that he's totally free to do that, because my songs are there as a guide, but they're not finished until the master is finished, so it can go either way as long as it's death metal.
I had a few death metal bands, in the past, but this band got more of a solid energy of some sort, and all the musicians are really, really good. So you can really, if I want to do a real fast blast beat part, I know I can do it because I know I have a drummer that can pull it off, and we don't have to slow it down or do it a different way. So it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I was never like a H.P. Lovecraft type of guy, I'd never read those books, or LaVey and stuff like that, and I don't have a belief in those types of things. So it's more from like death metal lyrics, like Fenris, for instance. His lyrics on the early Dark Throne albums, I think were amazing. I don't know what they mean, but I just love them. And Morbid Angel, the early Morbid Angel lyrics, stuff like that. It's basically from other bands, I guess. Death metal bands. I think satanic lyrics is part of death metal for me. It should be satanic lyrics. The gore lyrics always comes out a bit fun, Satanic lyrics come out a bit more serious, in a way, and that's what I like, personally. So if I'm contributing for more Bloodbath lyrics, it's gonna be fucking satanic.
I really love being in the studio actually, because there you can really hear like Axe's drumming, it's so fucking amazing. It's like he's like a machine, and you can tell him like, yeah, let's try it like this, or let's try it like that, and he's like, yeah, okay, and he does it like that, and it's super amazing. And all the other guys as well. It's good to see everything come to part, and you hear when everything is done, it's so fucking massive. It's
still something that I like. I still love listening to death metal, and I like those kind of subjects. I think they go hand in hand with the music.
I still want to write Bloodbath music. It might not get done as often as I would wish for, and not as often as I'm able, have the ability to do so now, because Catatonia is, touring pretty much all the time, or if we're not, we're also in the recording studio working on a new album. But still, I already know now that if I wouldn't do Bloodbath, I would be more miserable, not having it. So I need that in my life to create that balance. Death metal will never go away. Never.
I would love to do another one. And I would love to do a real dirty, old school, rusty album with a real the real old school Entombed sounds and really rotten thing, you know. A rough album would be cool to do.
They're a bit different, you know, like the first full-length record, Resurrection Through Carnage, is more retro. Then I obviously jumped ship for a while, and they did a record with Peter, which perhaps is one of the more popular records. I would probably say the latest one is you know, I like that one the best. I don't know, we've done more shows and kind of got more established with the last couple of records than we did with the first two releases we put out. It was very underground, so to speak, in those days, and more retro, and I'm not sure if it was as serious, you know, but with Nightmares Made Flesh and the EP, Blessing the Purity, and the last full length, I think we became more of a proper band, I guess, in a way. And the songs are better.
Of course, I want to be a better player from playing more music, but I think the kind of soul that we keep in the music is still the same, even though it might be better performed than like 10 years ago. But I don't think that death metal should be too progressive. It will not benefit from that, so it should be like it always have been, you know, brutality and
evil.
Yeah, evil and brutal.
No, we would never even think about going, you know, playing live with Bloodbath when we formed. It was just a drunken studio project, basically, in the beginning, but it just led to it somehow. I mean, those songs we did, we felt, when we started to, like, talk about the next level, like, how would these songs actually be, because we didn't rehearse them. So how would they be to perform? And we did, like, if you stand on a stage doing this kind of stuff, it would be amazing, really. It would be like a injection, a lethal injection of something that you cannot really get out of your main band, I think, you know, because it's just full-fledged, it's brutal, heavy, fast. It's basically everything that, well, at least my main band is not so much about anymore, you know. So for me, it was a big urge to do that live. I think I was very driven towards the other guys to make this happen. When we got the offer to do the first show ever at the Wacken in 2005, I was the one that said this has to be happening. It's going to be a great, you know, one-time event here, and I think everybody felt the same in the end.
But basically, death metal, you know, like it's not a show in the same sense. I've never been to a death metal show that gave me that feeling that I got when I saw like Maiden for the Seventh Son tour. That was a show. Obviously, there's things that death metal bands never been able to do because we never made any money to put into productions and stuff like that. But basically, death metal bands are standing on stage and headbanging throughout the whole show. That's the show, pretty much. You know.
Also, because we're doing so few shows, we want to do something a little bit special. So for the Bloodstock, we did
all the makeup thing.
Yeah, we had makeup and we had flower.
Oh, flower, yeah. Right.
Yeah. And on previous gigs, we've had like white T-shirts that we put a lot of blood on them and burned them and
old school outfits.
Put them in the ground. And yeah. So it's fun to do something special for the Bloodbath gigs.
The fans love it.
Yeah.